Okay, viewers, back from our Cobra and Baruga trip. That was a bloody fantastic holiday. I had a really good time, nice and relaxing. Come back to Melbourne, Australia, feeling refreshed and ready to start a new project. Anyway, it's Sunday today. Woke up this morning thinking to myself, it's about time I use that parsley that we had in the garden. We've got plenty of parsley in the garden at the minute, so perfect opportunity to I thought would be to make sausages. So we're going to make some Italian sausages today, and with our sausages, these particular sausages, they're called a sweet Italian sausage. Now, they're not really sweet to eat. They call them sweet, and the only reason they call them sweet is purely to differentiate these type of sausages from the hot sausages or the spicy sausages. So these aren't going to be hot or spicy in any way. There's no chili in them. There's a little bit of pepper. There is sugar in them, but not a huge amount of sugar. We'll go from there. I've also now I've been to the butcher shop today. Our butcher shop's open on a Sunday, luckily, and I've organised some pork shoulder that I got minced. He's minced it for me, so I won't be doing it here today. I got it minced at a 5mm grind or plate that they use, so it's only a 5mm, which is, he said he minces his sausages at 10mm, so he uses a 10mm plate. That means a 5. I didn't want them too coarse. Don't like my sausages like that, but this is all a bit of an experiment, as we know with my cooking. Generally, most things are. So we'll just try things out, and we'll go step by step, take you through it. And if you want to make any adjustments or alterations to it, you feel free to. But yeah, anyway, we'll start it shortly, and come back soon. Okay, we're starting our, I guess our first step of making our Italian sausages. Got our meat, shoved it in this container. I'm going to keep it all confined to this container here. I'm using gloves. I figure, keep everything as clean as we can, because other people are going to be wanting to eat these, and it's also good for me as well to keep things clean. But I could only find my wife's gloves. She's got very small hands. Luckily, I've got small hands as well. My hands are tiny. They're a bit embarrassing actually, but generally I don't like to talk about it. I like to keep that a bit of a secret, but anyway. All right, now, 6.5 kilo that is. This, the butcher's given me a little bit more fat as well, content. So you want to have at least 20% fat in there. If you have less than 20% fat in your sausages, they're not going to taste good. I'm yet to eat a good sausage that has less than 20% fat in it. So you want 20% fat, at least. A bit more than that's not going to hurt it, let's face it. So anyway, I've noticed one thing on my videos as well. I've been saying let's face it a lot, and I just said it again, and I'm trying to not say let's face it, okay? But if I do, no doubt I will, I apologise. Right, now, so we've got salt and sugar, which are our first two ingredients. We've got 140 grams of salt and 100 grams of sugar there. That's the 6.5 kilos there. I guess, if you go and buy 5 kilos, you can adjust accordingly, work out the maths and add the right quantities. But so I'm working on a 6.5 kilo, and then to that 6.5, I'm going to add these quantities. So the salt is 140. That's 140 grams of salt there. It goes straight in. There's no need to mess about with this. Sugar, 100 grams of sugar. Straight in there as well, right? Done. Beautiful. Now these fennel, toasted. I've got 60 grams of fennel seeds toasted. I've toasted them. They're going in as well. All right, next step, 18 grams of pepper. This is just cracked black pepper. 18 grams of that. Nutmeg, 12 grams of nutmeg. So a few ingredients in this, but I reckon altogether they're going to be a good combination. It's going to taste quite nice. So next step is going to be parsley. Now parsley, 3 cups of parsley, believe it or not. And these are from what we got from our garden this morning that we've just chopped out. So it'll be good to use them and not waste them. So that's what we thought. Apart from parsley, I reckon it tastes nice, but also it's going to look nice inside the sausage. A bit of green inside them as well, through the skin. And when it makes it, we eat with our eyes as well, let's face it. So, yeah. Now, after that, I'm reading this as I go along. Garlic. This is 2 bulbs of garlic. not cloves. So look at it, fair quantity there. We got that ourselves. Don't get it from a jar. You know, like, that smells beautiful. The stuff that you get from the jars, especially from our local shop that we go to sometimes, there's no taste, no flavour. You can't even smell it, you know, really. It's just like, this is beautiful. Get the good stuff. All right. And then with this, we've got to have a bit of moisture in this. If you don't add moisture to it, what you end up with, effectively, is just hamburgers. We don't want hamburgers, we want sausages. So to turn these into sausages, we add our liquids to it. And that's what I mean by moisture, liquids. We've got some dry sherry. We've got 2 1/4 cups of dry sherry that's going in there now. Pour that in there. And then we've got our sherry vinegar, or red wine vinegar. And that's 3/4 cup of red wine vinegar. Okay. What we do now, get our hands in there, the gloves, and we're going to really thoroughly mix this through, which you can watch this for a short period of time if you want. Obviously, we're not going to video the whole thing, the whole process, because it's going to take quite some time. And when we come back after this short message, what I'll do is let you know how long it took me to get it, you know, what I believe is thoroughly mixed through. Okay, so we'll see you shortly. Okay, so what we've done while we've been off camera is we've got our casings prepared. We're using natural casings. They call them hog casings, but they're natural. So they're the intestines of the pig. This is the first time I've ever used these. When I make my salamis, which I do, at the start of winter, I generally make my salamis, and they're still hanging at the minute in my shed, which I can show you that a bit later on, how they're looking, because they're just about ready to be harvested now, I guess. They're just about ready to eat. I don't use natural casings. I use synthetic casings for them. So this is the first time I've used the natural casings for these sausages. And I wasn't sure. I thought they'd be really delicate and, you know, like they'd break easily. But what I did was soak them in warm water first. Then I took it over to the tap, ran water through the inside of it, all the way through, come out the end. This is the casings here. We've tied a knot in the end, a nice firm top. And you can see, like, they're pretty strong. It's pretty strong material. Like, I'm using a bit of pressure on that, and there's no breakage at this point, so we'll see how we go. Let's face it, you know, we've got to make sure that we've got to use the strong casings. Now, I've probably got about half of my filling, which is here, inside our sausage stuffer. That probably took me about 10 minutes to mix that through. I would suggest about 10 minutes of my time. Not too long to do that. That actually did go into a knot. It was a bit knotted up, so we had to unknot it. You've got to be careful of that. It can sort of knot itself up and get a bit... Anyway, that's okay. We've got one of these. You can buy these. This is actually not a cheap one. You can get the cheaper ones. You can get them, you know, made in different countries around the world. There are certain countries that they make them in, and you can get them cheaper. You know, you can get them for $150. I think we might have paid several $100s for this. But, you know, like, I make salamis. I'll get a bit of use out of it, so I figured it was worth getting the better quality one, and hopefully it'll last me a bit longer anyway. And also parts are more readily available for these. This actual brand is called 3 Spade. It's the 3 Spade brand. That's the one that I've been sort of pretty much recommended to use. We got that all set up and ready to go. We didn't think it was necessary that, or you'd want to see that get set up. Now, what's going to happen now is, this is our first problem that we're going to encounter, is I'm getting air that's going into there instead of sausage at this stage, and air's still filling up.
We're going to have to cut that, I think, and let the air out and then tie it up.
So what we will do is we'll cut it at this stage, bring some sausage into it, let the air go out, and then we'll tie it up again later on. So this is all good. This is all good. And as I said to you in my previous videos, you know, like, you can learn from people that don't know what they're doing, you know, and this is probably going to be the instance in this. There you go. So what we'll do here, cut off that end. I'll start feeding some sausage in. and the air can obviously escape now. You can see the sausage inside there now.
Would you want me just to hold it and then we can string it off later?
Okay, we can try that. Geez, you're multi-talented. And then so all we do is do one complete long sausage at this stage. And can you drag that a little bit away? Yeah, thanks. And then what we're going to do after is twist these so that they make up like their sausage size. And when we do twist them, if you'll notice, if you look at these now, there's a bit of air in the here, in this spot, and we can twist that out. So we don't want to pack them too tight at this stage. There's a bit of air in there though. What I'll do now is we'll stop the video, get a bit of an idea, and I might get Melissa to give me a hand turning this handle while I hold both hands on this, and hopefully make it a bit more successful for us. So anyway, bye for now. Hands here, unable to sort of like support this underneath here, we're getting a better filled sausage. It just does seem better. Melissa's turning the handle for us. And as I said before, you know, this casing is so strong. I can't believe how strong it is.